Life FM, care for your life every day. Welcome to our 10 minutes program, Need to Po. I'm your DJ, Chor Mun. It is very nice to be with you all today. The topic for today is about negative emotions. So, what is negative emotion? Let's hear what some of you know about negative emotions.
Negative emotions is the emotions that makes you feel bad.
Some feelings will make us loss of our confidence.
Negative emotion is some feelings that may cause somebody to have some negative thoughts like sad, less confidence, jealous, angry.
Negative emotions is all about sad, miserable kind of feelings you have. Could be low self-confidence, could be from external impediments that gives you this obstruction.
Well, there are some interesting responses from the public. Basically, all of us experience negative emotions. It may come from one's own thoughts, which probably originated from where he come from, such as family origin, his upbringing, culture, environment, and etc. etc. When a person becomes aware of his or her negative emotions, such as anger, depression, and sadness, his or her temperature may dip since negative emotions affect the physical functions of the body, such as explicit behavior, gestures, and verbal expression. Somehow they can be hidden since they are felt internally. Most of the time, people think that having negative emotions are bad, which they will want to control. But negative emotions are actually a natural thing which every one of us will go through. The most important thing is how people can express, relieve, or overcome those negative emotions. Not to worry, we have invited Mr. Andrew Gray, a freelance licensed counselor with various clients in Penang, including Segi College, the One Academy, Penang International Dental College, and many more. Mr. Andrew will share knowledge about negative emotions after a short break. Stay tuned. Life FM remind you to appreciate everyone around. Do not wait until you lost them. Welcome back. As mentioned just now, Mr. Andrew is here to share us some knowledge regarding negative emotions. Hello, Mr. Andrew.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Life FM Need to Po program. It is very nice to have you here. Without further ado, let's start. Mr. Andrew, people always think that negative emotions are bad, but they also consider as a natural thing. So, what is the existent values of negative emotions and why do we need that?
Well, we always thought that negative emotion is not good, but actually, negative emotions serve some purpose as well. Take anger, for example. Anger is actually prevent or ready us to face a threat. Either we fight, or we flight, or we simply just freeze on the moment when we're facing threat.
Oh, other than that, any other values that negative emotions contain?
Oh yes, I do read from a recent article saying that depression actually serves a purpose as well. Take for example, the depression is actually helping somebody to cope with their current situation where they are actually lacking of probably proper resources to overcome their issue. Like one of the example mentioned in the article was depression helps a person to cut off certain stimulus that a person may not be able to overcome yet for the moment, and so depression actually helps that person to face whatever that is immediate to him or her rather than a lot of other stimulus that he or she is currently facing.
That's right. If a person have negative emotions like what you have mentioned just now, anger or depressions, what is the effect or impact that may cause to that person?
So if we are taking back anger and depressed or sad that we have mentioned just now, prolonged anger may actually increase your body's cortisol level, a neurotransmitter that actually tightens your muscle just to provide you to either run or fight with the situation. But if you prolong it, then you might face the possibility of a decreased immunity, such as your body immunity drops and you might face illness, or you might prone to actually all those bacteria around us. As for depression, well, you can read about it anywhere right now, saying that, well, depression, prolonged depression again, it decreases our immunity, it somehow lowers our body's immunity, kind of causing us to enclose or withdrawn for society, where we actually feel like not doing anything, or we feel like unproductive for a prolonged moment of time.
Oh, It means that if a person cannot handle his negative emotions well, then he might cause to immunity drops, illness, and somehow enclose with the society. Let's say this scenario happens to the public. What sort of actions they will take to relieve their negative emotions?
Johnny, please come to my office right now.
Yes, boss. Yes, boss.
Johnny, since our company has reduced the number of staff, you need to be more efficient in completing your task before you go home, okay?
Right, boss. Being a manager is not as easy as last time. My workload increasing, yet I need to work overtime to finish it. I'm stressed out. What can I do now?
Maybe I go out for a drink with my friend, go and tell people the problem, so at least I release from my heart now, so I feel better.
I will pray to God and then God will relieve my negative emotions.
I will lock myself in my room and cry until I feel tired, or maybe I have some sports till exhausted.
I think I will tell my situation to my friends or families, so to discuss with them, so to release my stress, or if they have any ways to help me, I think they can lend me their ears.
Well, there are some interesting responses from the public, such as think positive, pray to the God, cry and have some sport. Mr. Andrew, what do you think?
Talk with someone. Human bound to do someone because we are created or we survive through attachment. We cannot live alone. Find someone that you can trust, who does not judge you, who look at you or listen to you unconditionally. Go to that person. And of course, the professionals are here ready to help. What we are waiting for is just your initiative to just take a phone or just talk to that person who does not judge you or listen to you unconditionally. That helps.
Yeah, that's true, Mr. Andrew. Other than that, any other ways could help our listeners if they have negative emotions?
And of course, some other examples are the one that we hear most of the time, like exercise, writing a diary. In fact, sometimes I wonder how or why people nowadays are pretty much having more mental illnesses as compared to previous generation. Those good habits such as writing journals, picnic with somebody, doing exercise with a partner or a bunch of friends, we don't do this anymore. That's why people somehow are more prone to depression nowadays. That's why I believe people should pick up all those things again rather than sticking with our electronic device.
I'm totally agree with you, Mr. Andrew. I believe that everyone has their own ways to relieve their negative emotions. To conclude, Mr. Andrew, you have talked about the existing values of negative emotions as well as the impact and effect of it that may cause to a person. Besides that, Mr. Andrew also told us the way that we can use to relieve negative emotions. Before our program go to the end, do you have any advice or suggestion to leave to our listeners with?
I do encourage everyone to at least spend 5 to 10 minutes a day before you sleep. Try to reflect what actually happened today. It helps you to somehow reflect what you thought, because this is actually encouraging your prefrontal cortex, your rational brain, to actually work out the emotion. According to research, those labels that are labeled are able to calm you faster, which means if you tend to label your emotion most of the time, you are very likely to become someone who is a little bit calm or calmer than your friends who does not do this. That's why, like I said earlier, those who wrote journals, diary, because they actually process their emotion through words. And if you look at the word emotion itself, it comes from two Latin words, e and mote. E means going out, mote means move. When we have emotions, it shows that we actually have to allow our emotion to have an exit. You can't just keep it within yourself, because if you do, you either explode to others, either you harm others, or you implode, you harm yourself. So either way. And I believe that emotions are pretty much like a form of energy. You just have to let it transfer or find somewhere else to release it.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew, for joining us today, sharing your very informative and useful insights.
Good day and have a blessed day, everyone.
Hope every one of us are able to turn negative emotions to greatest advantages. And of course, if any of you needs consultation, you are free to contact any resources that are available in your place, especially in Penang, as Penang pretty much and have lots of free resources which you don't get in Kuala Lumpur. Next week, we will talk about self-harm with Miss Amanda Lu from the Home Mental Health Association. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.